Hey, it's Cara. Have you ever noticed how much you think? Maybe not until you try to go to bed and you just can't stop thinking and it drives you bananas. We think a lot, and it's a pretty important part of how we move around in the world. But we don't usually stop to ask ourselves what exactly is happening when we're thinking. I mean, what even is a thought? And when we stop to turn directly towards thought, we quickly start to recognize that a thought is just shy of nothing. Thoughts are so dreamlike and ephemeral that we can hardly even glimpse them before poof, they disappear. We also might start to see that different thoughts have different effects on us. Some thoughts feel more charged than others. Some thoughts feel connected to certain emotions, and others don't. I noticed that the more I observed my thoughts in this objective way, the easier it became to let go of the thoughts that weren't really serving me. Realizing this was a powerful thing, because it meant I didn't have to try to exert so much control over my mind. And instead, I could settle back and simply observe it and all its wackadoo-ness, kind of like watching The Wizard of Oz paired with the Dark Side of the Moon album, and knowing it's just a trippy movie, not reality. So that's what we're going to do in this meditation. So let's try it out. Get comfortable and find a position that's going to help you feel relaxed and at ease. You might try to take a few deep breaths. And on the out breath, let go of any tension that feels like it's ready to let go. You might start noticing how your body is right now. Notice your breath coming in and out. Any places of ease in your body, places of tension. Get a general sense of your whole body. You might also notice the sounds in the room you're in. You can orient towards these sounds and sensations in your body in a relaxed, receptive way, almost like you're listening to a piece of music. So start to tune in to the world of thought. You could still have a light awareness of your body, and then be open to thoughts coming up. You might notice these thoughts as words or as pictures. As much as possible, don't focus on the content of the thought, but rather the nature or the qualities of a thought itself. You could start just by making the mental note of thinking when you notice thoughts. What happens to a thought once you turn towards it? Does it disappear? Does it linger? Does it move or change? You may notice how thoughts have this way of hooking us before we even realize it. This is just another thing to notice and not something to fight. You can imagine that thoughts are like clouds in the sky. You're laying on the grass and you're just watching the sky, and you're watching the clouds go by. It can all be there. We're not trying to hang on to any of them. We're not trying to get rid of any of them. You might not even notice thoughts until after they're already over. So there's no need to chase thoughts or try to get to them. This actually doesn't really work. Instead, just stay relaxed and receptive. Let them come to you. And if you miss them, stay present and receptive for the next one. If you keep getting lost in thought, it's totally normal and really no problem. Keep gently coming back to the sensations in your body and sounds, the here and now felt experience. You may or may not start to notice that there are themes to your thoughts. You could find that there's a series of worrying thoughts or planning thoughts, maybe remembering or fantasizing. If you'd like, you could make a mental note when you notice a theme like this: worrying, planning, remembering. Or you could just note thinking. You might notice what's the difference between being present and being lost in a thought. What does it feel like in the moment that you come to? So you're just resting back and watching these clouds, watching patterns form, watching them appear and disappear, breathing and noticing what it's like to be alive. What is it like to have a thought? It's funny, most of us have never asked ourselves this question before. All along, we may have believed that we were in charge of our thoughts, that we had control over them, that we were the ones thinking. In reality, thoughts are much more similar in behavior to sounds. They come and go whether we like it or not. But now with mindfulness, you can start to have more of a choice about which ones you follow and which ones you don't. If you notice some obsessive thought, and you can actually tell it's not what you want to be doing, you can choose not to go down that route. Of course, sometimes thought patterns are so strong that you can't drop them so easily. It's important to know that it's okay to think. Thinking is natural. This isn't about fighting or grappling with our minds or making thoughts stop. But there is an alternative to just drowning in them. Even if thoughts are strong, you can still come back to watching them like clouds as they float through the sky of your mind. To do this, it can help to come back to the sense experience of your body and sounds. This is a place that you can rest your attention as thoughts come and go in the background. Notice that there's a difference between thinking about your body or sounds and the actual felt experience of these sensations in real time from moment to moment. The more we notice thoughts, the more we might start to recognize just how much we've been living in a world of thought. And we can choose to focus on something that feels more real. And then, instead of falling asleep while entrenched in our minds, we can fall asleep to the rise and fall of our breath. So, bringing the attention into your body, notice your breath as it rises and falls. Finding that rhythm. Let your body relax fully. And let go now of observing thoughts altogether. And simply connect and then reconnect with the body again and again. Letting it fully rest and giving yourself permission to let go completely. Rest well.